Hello, I'm Robert. Some of you will know that, like Donald, I support an unfashionable football team. In my case, it's a South London team called Crystal Palace. That's a connection that goes back to the time I lived and worked in London in the 1970s and 80s. Over the last couple of years, I've actually been a season ticket holder. You must think I'm mad actually travelling all that distance from this part of the world. But I have managed to get to see most of the home games. As some of you will know, some games are in the evenings, and Palace had a few in the evening. And as I wasn't able to get home the same night, I was able to renew acquaintance and stay with long-time Christian friends in London called Pete and Felicity. Their hospitality is quite amazing. They see their home as available for God's work, and so a variety of people get to stay there. I last saw the couple in January, just after Pete's 70th birthday. Pete's had various health issues over the years, but he's tended to look beyond them and to see God's goodness and his grace towards him. But at the beginning of July, Pete was rushed to hospital, having fallen down, as it turns out, as a result of a small bleed on the brain. After various tests and scans, it was discovered that he had a growth on his spine, which was removed, and this had, though, caused him trouble with leg movement, not being able to control his legs. It also caused him a lot of pain. Later, it was discovered that Pete had a secondary cancer, and his reaction to this was one of acceptance. He simply wanted to get back to serving the Lord and giving him glory, even during his suffering. But a month later, at the end of August, they were advised that Pete had just between 3 and 12 months to live, depending upon the chemotherapy. And Pete's reaction to that was to make a video for his family and friends, and I would like to share that with you now.
Hello everybody, especially my lovely family, the Whitton / Parker clan. I just wanted to say all your prayers are really helping me, and I feel quite well. The Lord's given me peace about whatever's going to happen to us. Just make sure you look after Mum, all the children and the grandchildren, and the church. Again, I want to thank you for all the prayers and the good wishes and the different things you sent me. And I'm amazed that I don't feel much worse than you think I would feel. The nurses here and the doctors here are great, and I just feel so blessed. And we make sure in all of this that we give God the glory. We know that's his chiefest aim, or our chiefest aim. And at the moment, I've tried to be a good witness and to tell people the Lord. I think I've talked to more people about the Lord and given the gospel in the last sort of 8.5 weeks than I've, for a long time before. It's just that you get a lot of opportunities when you're meeting loads and loads of people every day. So pray for different people. I won't give you the names, but pray that my witness might have some good effect, and that someone might even get saved. You never know. Certainly that old bloke at 93, I really had a long chat with him, and I felt that obviously he came at that time to hear the gospel, perhaps for the last time. So once again, I won't carry on. Thanks so much for everybody. It's only now I realise how much people love me, and that astounds me. But I thank you for your great love and for your care for me, and especially my family. I really love them all so very much. And may God have all the glory. Amen.
Amen.
Pete's video humbled me. Here's a man who knows he's dying, and yet his primary concern is to honour God and to share the gospel. When I spoke to Felicity last week to get permission to show the video, She said that Pete was asking for prayer, not for himself, but for the elderly man in the next bed who was now reading his Bible and asking Pete lots of questions. After 3.5 months in hospital with limited visiting opportunities, Pete finally got home to Felicity last Thursday. When a loved one is dying, we can question God's love for us and God's love for them, and yet God's love knows no bounds. As he stood by the tomb of his friend Lazarus, we're told that Jesus wept. And the reaction of those around was to exclaim, "See how he loved him." Even though Jesus knew what he was going to do, and therefore knew that Lazarus would be alive again soon, nevertheless, he could still feel the pain of the loss of a good friend. Jesus well understands our feelings. And the psalmist declares that precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints, or the death of his faithful ones. Those of us who follow Jesus, we are precious to God. And he will be there waiting for us when it comes our time to pass through the gates, if you like, of death. We won't have to knock at a door. The door will be open. And so will the arms of the Lord ready to receive us when we arrive. But first, we must live the life, and we must live it to the end.